Hello, this is the fifth video on NES Tetris DAS. This is the final video in the DAS series, and this covers advanced topics. This information and much more is available in my book titled Tricks of the Classic NES Tetris Masters, which is available on Amazon.com. So in this video I'm going to cover some advanced DAS related techniques, but I'm not going to go into as much detail as I have in previous videos. If you want full information on each of these techniques, check out the information in the book, which covers these fully. But the first technique we'll briefly talk about is the last second tap. And what this is basically, if you want to move a piece all the way to the left or right of the screen, and you use DAS, you can do that. But basically, the last second tap technique combines DAS and then at the very end another quick tap, and that's why it's called the last second tap. And so as you can see in the screenshot, basically what you do is you hold down, like say we want to move the piece all the way to the right wall, we would hold down the right arrow to move the piece using the DAS algorithm, but then at the last second there, for the last piece movement all the way to the wall, we would tap the right D-pad again to get it to move that last little piece. And the reason why you do that, remember with DAS, you're going to have a 6-frame delay between each piece movement, and with the last second tap you can eliminate basically up to 4 of those frames on the last movement. And so with the last second tap, in this example you can see on the screen, if you're using last second tap, it would take 15 frames to move the piece over to the right. If you only use pure DAS, it would take 19 frames. So the last second tap is just a quick tap at the end to not use DAS for the last piece movement, just to tap it over, which will save you a little bit of time. One thing you want to keep in mind, you want to do this when you're moving up against the wall, because if you tap it over, you're going to lose your DAS charge. But when you're up against the wall, you can get a wall charge to restore your DAS counter. The next technique we'll talk about is the red fireball technique, and this was named by Alex Kerr. And basically what you're doing with the red fireball is you're able to change the direction the piece is moving. So normally if you're using DAS to move the piece, like for example to the right, and you change your mind or whatever, you need to move it to the left, if you just move your thumb over from the right arrow and start pushing the left arrow, you're going to lose your DAS charge instantly. Well, with the red fireball technique, what you do is if you roll your thumb like down and around to the opposite direction, you won't lose your DAS charge at all. So you can basically move, change the direction of the piece from right to left without losing your DAS charge. So this is a pretty handy technique to have, and it's really easy to do. So all you do, roll your thumb down and around to the opposite direction, and you'll keep that DAS charge. Another advanced technique is called the extended tap, and what this entails is, if you go back to the very first video we did on DAS and review how DAS works, basically when you hold down the right arrow key, what will happen is the piece will move one spot immediately after the first frame, and then the DAS counter will start counting up to 16. When it gets to 16, it'll move a second time. Well, the extended tap is all about you're tapping the piece and only moving it one spot, but you're also able to get at least a partial DAS charge on that as well. And the way you do that is you tap the arrow to move the piece one time, and you hold it just a split second longer than normal. And the reason why you're doing that is when you hold down the arrow, it moves immediately and it starts counting up to 16. Well, if you release it before it gets to 16, you'll still have that partial DAS charge. So as an example, if we hold down the right arrow here, like in this screenshot, the piece will move after one frame, and then the DAS counter will start counting up. And as soon as it gets to 16, it'll move an additional spot. Well, in this example, say we let go when the DAS counter is at 14, then you'd have a 14 DAS charge, which is good. The problem with the extended tap technique is it's very hard to do, and you don't really know whether it worked or not. You don't really know how far you were able to let that DAS counter get. And if you hold down the arrow just a little bit too long, it'll get to 16, and then the piece will move an additional space, which you didn't want. So the extended tap is something, it's good to know, and it's something that can be used as a last resort. but it's not something you're really going to want to rely on in your normal gameplay. But it's something good to understand how it works. Well, I hope you found this video helpful on covering these advanced DAS techniques. And I know I didn't cover them in detail, but if you want more information on them, check out my book, Tricks of the Classic NES Tetris Masters, which covers each of these techniques as well as many other techniques for NES Tetris. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel here. I'm planning on posting some additional videos. Thank you.